You feel him slip. The texts thin out. The warmth goes quiet. With a Scorpio man, pulling away isn't absence, it's assessment. He's testing the container, not the chemistry. So, how do you close the distance without chasing him further? Stay to the end for the single move that reopens his depth without pressure. And if you want to truly master the hidden language of relationships and astrology, make sure to subscribe to SBS Astrology. I break down all the zodiac signs and these complex dynamics so you never have to guess. Point 1. The nervous system sync test. Scene setter. He replies later. Shorter messages. Plans become vague. He's not punishing you. He's regulating himself. The failure. You blow up his phone. You demand clarity on the hour. You read between lines until the lines disappear. Urgency becomes noise, and he retreats to quiet. The pass. Slow your pace on purpose. Exhale longer than you inhale. Send one grounded message. I value us. I'm here. Let's touch base tomorrow at 8. Invite, don't insist. Offer a clean plan with room to breathe. The reward. His system reads your steadiness as safety. The distance stops growing. He steps back toward you because the air around you is calm. Point 2. The mystery versus withholding test. Scene setter. You mirror his retreat. You go cryptic. Stories without details. Tone without context. Now, there are 2 locked doors in one hallway. The failure. Weaponized silence. Games dressed up as boundaries. He senses strategy and trusts you less, not more. The pass. Offer clarity without chasing. I'm invested, and I'll match your speed. I won't punish you for needing space, but I won't disappear either. Share your state, not your ultimatum. Light in the room, not a spotlight in his eyes. The reward. He relaxes because he can see the edges. Mystery remains romantic, not suspicious. Trust begins to regrow where guessing used to live. Point 3. The depth before logistics test. Scene setter. He's cool in messages. You try to fix it with plans. Let's do dinner. Let's book tickets. Let's schedule everything. Busy solves schedules. It doesn't solve distance. The failure. You stack activities on top of unspoken feelings. The structure is neat. The energy is hollow. He senses the mismatch and goes quieter. The pass. Lead with attunement, then plan. I feel a shift. I care about it. Is there something you need more of or less of from me? Reflect his weather before you offer the umbrella. The reward. He feels seen, not managed. Logistics land because the emotional soil is ready. Now the plan means connection, not avoidance. This is the kind of deep dive we do on this channel all the time. If you aren't subscribed yet, Click that button so you don't miss what's next. Point 4. The Shadow Walk Test. Scene setter. Old trust wounds stir in him. He needs to analyze. He pulls back to read the fine print of your bond. The failure. You make it a courtroom. You always. You never. Defensiveness fogs the room, and he dives deeper into silence. The pass. Validate the process without inheriting the past. I get why you're cautious. I'm willing to go slow and talk real, and I won't take blame that isn't mine. Offer a container. Sunday afternoon. Tea. No phones. 30 minutes each to share. Boundaries and openness in the same breath. The reward. He learns you can walk the shadow with a lantern, not a torch. Safety returns because the depth has structure. Point 5. The Intimacy Pace Test. Scene setter. The connection got intense fast. Then he tapped the brakes. For Scorpio, intensity without pacing can feel like losing the wheel. The failure. You escalate to pull him back. More closeness, more texts, more everything. Pressure says the container is flimsy. The pass. Offer pressure, free proximity. Walk and coffee. No heavy talk unless it comes up. 1 hour, then we both get the rest of the day. Rituals that soothe. Wednesday, check-in. Saturday morning call. Let steady rhythm do the heavy lifting. The reward. He re-enters at a sustainable speed. Trust grows roots under the fire. The ultimate test, stillness plus proof. But here's the one that changes everything. When he pulls away, he's testing for gravity, not noise. Can you be a calm center? And can you back it up? Why it's crucial. Scorpio is fixed water, depth under pressure. Words alone are bubbles. He needs a stable presence and one verifiable action. Stillness says you won't chase or collapse. Proof says your promise touches the ground. How to pass. Meet him in person or by voice, not text alone. Soften your shoulders. Hold eye contact without strain. One clear sentence. I choose this with you. One concrete receipt. Friday at 7. I booked the table. If you need space, I'll keep the reservation for next week. Pair presence with a plan and permission. The transformation. Distance melts without a chase. He sees you can hold intensity and time. Suspicion yields to stewardship. The bond stops wobbling and starts breathing again. If this helped you stop the pull away, let me know with a like. It tells me to make more content like this. Comment stillness and proof below. If you're trying this week, I read every single one. And subscribe to SBS Astrology for poetic, practical breakdowns that turn mixed signals into steady bonds. Final notes. Space is not a punishment. It's a tool. Match space with clarity, not with silence or pursuit. Keep your boundaries clean. Mutual consent, mutual respect, and mutual pacing. Those are the real magnets